Hi guys. So quick update. I got my last video taken down on TikTok. We'll probably get banned again soon. And on one hand, it really doesn't matter because I just opened that account. Who cares? But on the other hand, you have to wonder, what is it that I'm saying in these videos that is so crazy that they have to be taken down? Especially if you compare it to some of the things that women are saying in the videos that we reviewed lately. And I don't mean to sound paranoid, but something's going on. Something's going on. In any case, let's get into it.
Men's volleyball, women's pole vaulting. Yeah, why are they always naked?
Do you have anything more than a pea brain behind those empty eyes? You think these women chose these outfits?
Yes, because they did. Beach volleyball uniform guidelines for the Olympic Games. Women's athletes' uniforms. They have an option of a t-shirt and shorts. They have an option of a tank top and shorts. They have an option of a one-piece bikini. And they have an option of long-sleeve shirts with leggings. Same applies for the uniform code of women's gymnastics. Section 2, under subcategory A, she may wear complete leg coverings of the same color as that of the leotard under or on top of the leotard. Same applies for the Olympic female runners, where they have all of these options and literally every other sport.
So they have no choice. Wow, this was just a really dumb take.
They have the choice, and they choose to be naked because they like the sexual attention. But your feminist brain went to, he must just hate women, that's why he's saying these opinions. Very juvenile and childish of you.
So why don't men do stuff like that? It's simple. Because we just don't get rewarded as much for it. If anything, you would be ridiculed most likely. And so I grew up in a time before women were taught to hate men. And so you walk around and girls smile at you. Sometimes you would get a compliment. But still, it's not like girls would ask me out and offer to pay for everything or anything like that. If you think about it, even celebrity males don't get that experience, even though they do get women, but it's not like those women offer to fly them out and pay for their hotels and everything like that. At least I never heard about anything like that. So think about it. Even celebrity males don't get experience of a woman that is willing to open her legs or to show some skin. So is it really that big of a mystery that they all tend to do it? I often hear about these unicorns in Eastern Europe, all these traditional Christian women that apparently live here. It's a bit exaggerated in my opinion, but still, I mean, I can see why people would think that, because the female fuckery is definitely not as out on the open here. But it's not because these are better women and American women are bad or anything like that. It just, the reason why they don't do it is just because they don't get away with it as much here. But let me fucking tell you, you bring a girl from here to the United States and she will act exactly like American women. It happened to me, it happened to a bunch of people I know. So these are not bad and good women. It's just, in some societies, the promiscuity is more common, and in some societies the modesty is more common, and there is always that tension between that two. And I would argue that in societies where promiscuity sort of took over, those cultures didn't make it very far throughout history, because if you think about it, most of the most developed countries right now, the monogamous relationships are more or less the norm. And you can see why that is the case, because people probably realize that if you leave girls to their own devices in this matter, there's only one way this stuff is gonna go, because it's just too enticing to say no to it. And so that's why we don't sell drugs at the grocery stores, right? Because we kind of understand that nobody should be tempted with stuff like that, right? So I do my grocery shopping. Oh, should I get some heroin today? We understand that nobody should be in that position to to make that choice, where that is even an option. Just like playing volleyball in your underwear in front of thousands of people shouldn't be an option for a girl. And the drug analogy is not even that good here, because with drugs, at least we do tell people you shouldn't do it, it's not good for you, but it's completely the opposite with promiscuity, right? Girls are getting hammered with how empowering that shit is.
I also just want to again recognize and honor the sex worker community. I will. Yes.
So now imagine girls on some volleyball team don't feel as comfortable being naked in front of people. But all other girls are playing in their underwear. And they get all that attention right there on the local news channel. And then some of the girls on those teams decided to open Instagram and show even more skin on their Instagrams. And they get even more attention now. So you can see how all that quickly becomes a race to the bottom. So feminists say that, oh, it's all about giving women choice. But if you think about it, once these guardrails are lifted, there's really no choice. There is only one way this stuff is gonna go. And so that's why things start to roll off the hill very quickly. Just recently I heard that like 20% of American young women have OnlyFans accounts. I hope that's not the case, but at the same time, it's not that surprising. It's just too enticing. And so you can see how societies that lost control over their matter wouldn't last very long. And we actually have a very good illustration of how that would play out.
Never admitted this on the internet. I'm 23 years old and I don't want to have kids. Talk about it, shall we? First reason I don't want to have kids, and the most obvious, women statistically always end up doing more of the emotional and physical labor in the household with the children and in the relationship. Second reason is that I'm a very hyper-independent person and I value my freedom. I love to solo travel. I want to be able to move different places. Making a lifelong commitment to a child. I just thought of a tiny creature living with me for 20 years. I can't. Third reason, which is more relevant to my present state, and I don't think I'll be like this forever. I'm in a position where I feel like I can barely take care of myself. Working on my mental health every day and trying to get myself out of bed and trying to get myself to do basic human things and just function. People often think that not wanting to have kids is a very selfish decision, which in a lot of ways it is. I believe that not wanting to have kids is always selfish. In a lot of cases, people are looking out for the child. There are days where I can't get out of bed or I'm far too anxious. How am I going to take care of a whole human? I don't think that's fair on the child, and therefore I don't think the reason is selfish.
How come you never see people making videos about, oh, and this is why I go to the gym, or this is why I go to work? Just think about it. It's only when people doing some stupid fuck shit, they feel this urge to explain themselves, mostly to themselves. Because deep in the back of her head, she knows she's fucking up. She knows she's probably wrecking the rest of her life right now. But she can't fucking help it. She tasted that lifestyle at some point in her life and now she's hooked. She's on the boat somewhere today, tomorrow she's at the nightclub, free admission and everything. Free drinks. How could she say no to that? So of course she's not trying to get married and have kids. Which in her case is probably for the best. But imagine that this becomes the prevalent way of thinking in a society. How much time that society has left? Let's look at another relevant example.
I would say it's about women, especially as women get older. There's sort of this concept around women that they should become less sexual as they get older. But the reality is that women, as we get older, our libidos get more intensified to a certain age than men's. So it's sort of like this made up thing, right? That women as we get older are supposed to be,
right? Like died out. Like we're not even having sex. We're not sexual.
Yeah. When it's literally the opposite.
Yeah.
So somewhere down the line, men didn't really want women to be very sexy as they got older.
Right.
I think. So they kind of made it so like, oh no, like if you're no longer, mating for us,
right,
then you should just go over here.
So true.
When in reality, it's like women into their 40s, sometimes 50s are like very much
sexual.
So why don't you ever hear guys talk like this? Oh, I feel so young. 40s is the new 20s. Because most guys don't have those crazy experiences in their 20s that they just can never let go of it anymore. The way women do. Imagine being on heroin for a good 10 years and then one day it stops because your drug dealer moves on to younger girls. Of course they go crazy. Of course they're gonna fight to the death to get one more hit, right? So that's your plastic surgeries, that's your makeup industry trying to convince everybody how sexy they are. They're like, what is she, like 50 or something? She tasted their lifestyle. She's addicted. And this is, by the way, it's a very important point, why you can never turn a whore into a housewife. It never works. Because just imagine a lifestyle of a loose woman in the United States. She's in Las Vegas, she's in Miami, free admissions at the club, free drinks, maybe somebody is even paying for her hotel, for her airplane ticket. Then one day, she meets some sucker. They want to get married. Once again, the whole time she's the center of attention. The dress fittings, the bachelor party, the wedding, the fireworks, the honeymoon. And then one day it stops. And she wakes up, it's time to do dishes. Clean the house. Of course, so many of them go crazy. And this is why we don't tell young people, just go on drugs for a few years and get it out of your system. Because we know that afterwards, the rest of their life will seem kind of bleak. The way marriage seems to a lot of these girls. I had a friend that he caught his wife cheating 2 months into it. 2 months into it? Why did you even get married in the first place? And maybe she even went into it with good intentions, but she just couldn't do it. The regular life, good life, comfortable life, just doesn't do it for her anymore. And this is, by the way, just sort of to respond to this, why guys intuitively prefer girls with less experience, which would kind of imply that they have to be younger. Because we know that those experiences will break that woman. And there is less chance of things working out with her. It's not because we're all like predatory or whatever you want to make us out to be. Once the girl tasted that forbidden apple, she can never fucking let it go. That's a broken woman. And speaking of broken women, we have one more example right here.
What the is up with men only wanting to be my pen pal? Because I've been building up my roster for the last couple weeks, and not a single one of these men has even tried to have sex with me. Which normally I would say is very respectful, but it's also, we're not even doing anything. You know, we're not hanging out, we're not like going on dates. Why do men just want pen pals? I don't want to be your pen pal. If we're not and we're not going on dates, then what the hell are we talking for? I don't want to talk to you. I got a million other people I would rather talk to other than you. But I'm just like, does nobody just...
They don't want to go the distance.
Nobody on the first date anymore? Nobody kisses nasty in the parking lot on the first date anymore?
You don't figure in the parking lot?
Nobody fingers in the parking lot after the date anymore? What the I've been out of the dating game for 5 years. What are we, all virgins? I mean, I'm a virgin, honestly, but like, God, nobody's on the first date, second date? God forbid a girl wants a little love bombing, you know. So what? So what? I'm a little bored. So what? I'm a little bored and I want to have So what? God forbid.
So sounds like her options are drying out. We'll probably look for beta box side of things soon. And she'll find one. She will. Most guys are blue-pilled as fuck, including most of my friends. I don't care about her past. That's what made her who she is today. If you allow someone, set them free. She'll fucking pull her skirt down, clean up her Instagram a little bit, married. But will she be able to fall in love with that guy now? Especially if you consider that the guy that she's gonna qualify for now is nothing like the guys that used to fuck her when she was younger. Will she be happy with can she be happy with a regular family life now? No, that's a broken woman. This is obviously a broken woman. You don't want anything to do with women like this. And let me give you a little tip on how to spot one. This is a good telltale sign. So just pay attention to the eyes.
So the incels of TikTok have crawled out of the darkest corner of their mother's basements and onto my post. All I had to do was make a video about how the amount of people someone has slept with does not affect the value of them as a person.
So we don't need to watch the whole thing. She's very proud of herself because incels found her. She's like a celebrity now. But the reason why I want to show you this clip is because of those eyes, right? Because when I was a bouncer, I noticed something. I noticed that as girls become sort of like regulars at our club and get more and more experienced, there is some spark that disappears in their eyes. And so recently I heard this term. So it's called SSRI eyes. So what that means is this is a girl that been fucked too much by too many guys. There's just something that breaks inside of them when it happens. And you can't fucking fake it, by the way. Go to the mirror and see if you can make those eyes. And so what I'm saying here is stay away from girls like this because she's miserable. She probably cries all the time. She's in pain all the time. And now you try to take this girl out and show her a good time, cheer her up. And she will hate you for it because not only she's in pain, but now she feels obligated to pretend to be happy. And so that's why a girl like this would always find something to pick a fight about. Because now you're fighting and things are miserable and she feels appropriately to the situation, right? Because she's miserable at baseline. And let me fucking tell you, nothing is off limit to a crazy bitch like this. I'll tell you fucking a quick story here. We have this girl, pretty girl, starts coming to our club. Over time, as it usually goes, everybody fucks her. And so now guys are moving on to different girls. And she's but she's addicted to that attention. And the only way for her to get attention now is to start trouble. So one night she picks a fight with some girls, right? And so we take her out and the owner, who fucked her too, by the way, tells her, okay, no more. She can't come in anymore. She's done. She's banned from our club. So imagine how fucking pissed she is. This fucking guy used to fuck her and now he wants nothing to do with her. So this bitch calls cops and tells them that me and my partner at the door beat her up. And luckily at that time we already had fucking camera over the door. Otherwise it's her word against our word. And she's all roughed up from fighting inside. I would for sure get arrested and go through the whole 9 yards. In the best case scenario, it would take me fucking years and lots of money to get rid of those charges. In the best case scenario. And if you're saying to yourself, well, fucking justice prevail, you have no experience with our legal system then. If that's what you're thinking right now. So let me tell you another quick bouncer story. So on the night when I wasn't working, some fucking drunk guy picks a fight with the bouncer that was working at the door that night. And the bouncer happened to be former fucking Golden Gloves champion. So he beats the fuck out of him. I don't know what really happened. That's what I heard. Next day, I'm working at the door. So the cops come, hi, may I see some ID? Okay. Put your hands behind you, you have a right to remain silent. What the fuck? The owner comes out like, oh, this is not the guy. Everybody in the club, oh no, he wasn't working. No, that's not the guy. Doesn't fucking matter. It took me fucking 2 years and $12,000 to get in the room with that guy. So he can point at me and say, no, that wasn't the guy. That's not the guy. 2 years and $12,000 was all those fucking witnesses saying that it wasn't me. Because everybody knew who did it. But now imagine that some girl is claiming that you did something at your apartment with no witnesses. And now it's her word against your word. And now you're going through all that fucking process. You're not entertained. You're not fucking Johnny Depp. You don't have that money to fight these legal battles. At some point, your own lawyer will tell you to make a deal. So I'm telling you, stay away from crazy bitches like this. You don't want nothing is off limit for these girls. And still, I know for sure that as I'm saying this, a lot of you guys are still thinking, oh, I'll just hit it and quit it. And this is something that a lot of you guys are not going to want to hear. This is something that I realized when I started to understand a little English when I just moved to the United States. That all Americans are obsessed with food and sex. Now I would add conspiracy theories to that. But when I learned a little English, it was in the military. I was all around basically only guys. All they want to talk about who you fucking, who they fucking, and shit like that. And just for comparison, I know some of the friends here in Ukraine for like 30 years. Most are married, most have kids. I can tell you, I have never talked once to any of them about sex. So what's the difference? I'll tell you what the difference is. Because we grew up in Soviet Union. And so there was no porn here. That's the difference. We didn't have porn. I do believe that there's a lot more sex addiction in the United States that we would like to admit. It's just so common that it just seems like that's just the way things are. Oh, well, we have fucking 18 times the amount of testosterone that women have, and so I can't fucking help it. I would give $1 million to get rid of this urge. Shut the fuck up. And most of the fucking idiots saying this shit are on TRT. By the way, as always, you don't need no TRT. You don't need no Ozempic. You can get in great shape if you just know what you're doing. So make sure to check out my books. I'll put it in the description or pin it in the top comment, anyway, depending on where you're watching this. You don't need any of that shit. But anyway, shameless plug, I know. But my point here is there are a lot of fucking guys in the United States walking around fucked up in their head because they got access to porn at very young age. And we actually have a fucking very good example right here.
Feeling a little bit alone or wandery or maybe even uncomfortable while your partner is out with someone else, it's not a bad thing. And it's not something that should stop you from the experience unless it's something that you both talk about and decide that it's not working. So when it comes to my going on dates with other men, I love it. And for a few reasons. Because she gets to have fun and experience something new. And I get a chance to look at myself and really understand my own feelings and own thoughts around the situation and learn from them and talk to her about them.
So I'm not sure I buy this because this guy looks like he likes other men's dick in his ass. But in either case, whether he's a cock or he's gay, I do believe that this has to do with premature exposure to porn. Because for the first time I saw porn magazine. I was kind of older, and I still remember my reaction because I think it was the only time I saw a porn magazine. I was like, wait, there are fucking guys in there? I don't want to see other men's dick. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. But think about it, if you're younger, if you're a kid and you're whacking off to a video of a guy fucking a girl, at some level, you kind of conditioning yourself getting aroused to presence of another man. And so is it really that big of a surprise that there are so many fucking guys wandering around fucked up in their heads? So like, oh my God, did you hear this girl? She said hug too, like you know, like blowjob. Oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Let's all follow her. What the fuck is going on? And then on the other hand, we have fucking girls that just fucking get naked every chance they get. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a cranky old man at this point. We'll see. Hopefully it will all work out. But perhaps that's enough for me fucking talking for today. So I'll see you guys next time.